Good morning, students. This is class 9th science. Today we are going to study about cell. Today we are going to study about the fundamental unit of life, that is the cell. We all are made up of cell. You know what a cell is. We have learned in the junior classes also. A cell can be defined as a structural and functional unit of living organisms. A cell can be defined as a structural and functional unit of living organism. Before starting the lesson, we are going to learn about the history of the cell. We can say the history of the cell. Aristotle in 384 to 322 BC put forward the concept of a cell. He put forward the concept of the cell. Then Robert Hooke, you must all have heard the name of Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke was an English natural philosopher. He observed the cell for the first time and introduced the term cell. He took a thin slice of dried cork. You all know what dried cork? It is the bark of the tree. And observed it under a primitive microscope. Primitive means very old style microscope. He observed some hollow spaces and named them cells. The word cell is derived from the Latin word cellula, meaning a small room. See, this is what he observed. This is what he observed. See, the network which you are seeing on the screen. Small rooms. He named them small rooms because they are small. He named them small room, and he observed this with the help of this microscope. Nowadays, you have in your laboratories, you see compound microscope. This is the microscope which was used by Robert Hooke. Under this, with the help of this microscope, he observed cork cells. This is the oil lamp, water flash, then specimen holder. See, this is a specimen holder, and this is the objective through which he observed focusing screw, barrel. This was the then used crude microscope, or we can say old type of microscope. So Robert Hooke discovered cell, and the cell which he saw was a dead cell. This was a dead cell. Then Robert Brown, another scientist, the Scottish botanist Robert Brown, he discovered the presence of small spherical structure inside the cell and named them as nucleus. So we can say the word nucleus was given by Robert Brown. Now, J.E. Purkinje studied the fluid contents of the cell, and he called it protoplasm. He called this as protoplasm. Then there were two scientists, Matthias Jacob Sheldon and Theodor Schwann, who independently proposed the cell theory. They proposed cell theory. And what does this theory say? This was the biggest breakthrough in the cell biology. And they said that all organisms are composed of cells, and thus cell is the basic unit of life. All organisms are composed of cell, and cell is the basic unit of life. They also observed the presence of plasma membrane covering the animal cells and a thick cell wall surrounding the plant cell. Okay, then Virchow expanded the cell theory in his and he said that all cells originate from the pre-existing cells. All cells originate from the pre-existing cell. So we're going to sum up. Cell is the functional and structural unit of living organisms. Robert Hooke discovered dead cell. Then Robert Brown gave the name nucleus. J.E. Purkinje, protoplasm. Sheldon and Schwann, cell theory. and cell theory was further extended by Virchow, who said that all cells originate from pre-existing cells. In the next class, we'll study about the diversity in cells. Diversity in cells. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.